What's going on, everyone? Welcome to an episode of On the Floor with Liv and Cor. I'm Cor, that's Liv, and this is episode 21. Last week we celebrated 20 episodes of On the Floor with Liv and Cor podcast. So, what comes after 20? 21.
We're
Liv,
officially legal
we are legal. We're legal in America.
in America.
In America. As you guys can see if you're watching on YouTube, I'm still celebrating the fact that Wicked for Good comes out this week. And Olivia, when are you seeing it?
Friday, 7 p.m.
Oh, you got in. That's like opening day. Opening day.
Interesting you say that. Given the fact that I received a text from Corey today, guess what? My mind is wandering. This could be 150,000 things. You saw a dog, you went to the gym, you ate a good meal. My answer, what? His response, he's seeing Wicked tonight.
Tonight. Tonight. And now I've now told you and I told my mom, and both of you had the exact same response, like I'm some exclusive socialite that got some red carpet moment. No, no, no. I'm just an Amazon Prime member and the local theater had an opening. So
I
I'm
am going
going.
with a group, so it would be more complicated to adjust, but
Right.
I won't talk to you much the rest of this week.
Right. I was told by our friend Scott Bregman that he was going to delete my number for the week and block my number to make sure that I don't spill any of the what? Good news. Yeah,
Any
it's
of the green elixir.
any of it. The question is should I get one of the popcorn containers? Because that feels
I
like
have one.
you already have it.
Yeah, I have one. Do I
Okay.
need to go to my kitchen and get it to prove?
No, no,
Okay.
absolutely not. But I think tonight I'm going to go for like if I belly up to the concession stand and there's Wicked merchandise, I will be purchasing.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Why stop now? Well, on that note, let's get started with today's episode. We have some fun things to chat about, and we have a really cool conversation we're gonna have towards the end of the episode. So stick around for that. But as we always do, we're gonna start with our bubbles of the day. So Liv, I'm gonna go first because we're all into these like colors, right? I have these like colored lights in my room, and
Okay.
it's giving wicked. So when I looked at the refrigerator, I said, what best goes with my vibe and my mood for today? Polar Seltzer Lime, just simply for the green can.
That is super solid of you. I love those. Those are underrated, I think.
I it's Target brand, right?
I think so.
Target, yeah, I think so. But I also wanted to shout out the fact that I had a meeting at my friend's office and I stole this from their refrigerator. So I just wanted to figure out what it was like for all of the theft that you have had at your own office, and now I know what it feels like.
Well, speaking of, sponsored by Crescent Capital, San Pellegrino Blood Orange.
You know what? I did not know that Liv also stole hers for today. Borrowed, if you will. I mean,
Borrowed. Borrowed.
something borrowed, right? But we both, we both, some call this sponsored and some call this theft. So on that note, ciao, Abella.
Ciao, la bella.
And this one's for you, Elphaba. Cheers, Liv.
I'm super into this San Pellegrino. Oh, yeah.
Mm.
I think the lime is my favorite, which I brought on an earlier episode, but this is excellent.
Wait, that can is giving like,
Beach in the Amalfi Coast? Yes.
I'll be honest. At first, it wasn't giving Beach Amalfi Coast. I went straight to Circus Tent.
Okay, that's
It's
where
not
our
what they
heads
were going for. The branding people are screaming. They're rolling around in their grave. Okay.
are at.
And up next, second segment, we always hit it. Liv's lips of the week. Liv, what lips do you have for us? Even though I will say, before she goes there, did you guys see her TikTok? Her triple threat, her triple threat of her liner, her lipstick, and her gloss. I mean, if you need to know how to look good, just go to Liv's TikTok. But
I'm
anyways,
just a girl in sports. Dot 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 dotty dot. Yes, today's lips of the week is
Drum
The
roll.
Summer Fridays brown sugar. Now, this is a classic. Summer Fridays was kind of the inaugural lip obsession and like the TikTok verse. I used to love it. I like it now because I have tried many others. But alas, it's still a good lip balm and the color is nice and it tastes like sugar cookie.
Okay, wow. Merry Christmas.
Really good gloss,
Yeah,
really good color,
it
nice
looks really
winter
good.
shade.
Is that the one that everyone had in like the phone case?
Oh no, that's Rhode. That's
Okay,
Haley Bieber's brand. We'll
for
get there
another
later in the season
for another day.
for another day.
Well, thank you for that amazing segment. And up next on our run of show, if you will, is a segment called Good News. That's right. We got some good news for you all. We're going to run through some good news and notes from the week. Olivia, hit it.
Well, it's not necessarily good news, but the Maryland Terps posted the funniest video this week on social media of the Gatorade World's Heaviest Cup. And the content was that they needed to lift the cup up. It's like a mug with one hand and take a sip of some red Gatorade out of the cup. The cup is apparently 22 and a half pounds. So they were all like really struggling to lift the cup up. And then, of course, assistant coach JJ goes in and just lifts it right up with like no issues. So did Brett. I will give Brett immense credit. He did as well. But I love content like that. I just, it's so funny.
Honestly, I thought that Brett was like pulling a magic trick on them. Like there was some sort of pin that he was going to pull and be like, guys, it's so easy, right? Like that it was, but it wasn't. It was actually a 22 and a half pound mug. And it's not a challenge I want to participate in. I will say there was a couple like wrists that looked like they were breaking in half, but you know what? I think it was iconic content. I watched all of it, and I think you should too.
Yeah, I was thoroughly entertained by it. So keep the content coming from the Terps.
One more thing was the fact that they chose red Gatorade and the student athlete that was wearing a white sweatshirt. The whole time, my heart was just beating out of my chest. I was like, don't spill, don't spill, don't spill. But red Gatorade is my favorite. So well done. Great choice.
Like, don't touch the lava, red Gatorade, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Staying in the good news department, something that I was just thrilled to see, and I know many people were as well. It was signing day this past week. And so we saw a lot of new faces that are going to join us in the NCAA in next season, some of which are big names. So we have a lot of incoming talent coming up in 2027. But the news of the week for me was Georgia commit Kamara Williams signed to Georgia, but announced that she will be competing for them in the 2026 season starting in January. What a get in the beginning for Georgia. And then for her to come early and join the already stacked team. I think this is a really good building situation for Georgia, and I'm very excited for them.
Can you imagine like the Nyla Aquino, Kamara Williams floor moment that's about to happen from Georgia? Like it's going to be phenomenal. And Kamara's broken out onto the elite scene in the past couple years. She has some really unique, awesome skills and plays with the code in really fun ways. So I cannot wait to see what Coach Cecile Landy does with her routines. It's just going to be so cool. And I think that some people oftentimes forget that they can go early. Like if you finish all your high school credits and you make it happen, you can go early. And this is a great example of that. So the Georgia Bulldogs have a really good one coming.
I love that for them. Final big news that really stuck out to me this week, and everyone's seen it, but USA Gymnastics has announced a new CEO. It is Kyle Arbrecht. He is coming from the MLS. He was an executive there, and he will be joining as president CEO effective January 1st. I've seen a lot of really positive discourse about this on Twitter X, on Reddit. I think just what USA Gymnastics needed is new leadership. And I think he's going to do a great job of just getting us to where we want to be for 2028 as LA is hosting the Olympics. So I'm excited. I mean, I don't know. You never know what you truly think of a new leader until you see it happen. But I can't wait to see what happens and how USA Gymnastics thrives under him.
Yeah, USA Gymnastics current CEO, Li Liang, did a phenomenal job when she stepped in. She also came from the pro sports landscape. If I remember correctly, she came from the NBA world. And so I think that it's really cool to be able to bring a different sport perspective over to our sport. Although it's incredibly unique, gymnastics is very unique, and he's going to be overseeing all of the different disciplines that fall under the umbrella of USA Gymnastics. I think his ability to come from a lot of programming that he did in the youth soccer space, and in comparison to what's happening in the development program, Excel, even rec gymnastics underneath the USA Gymnastics umbrella, it will be really cool to see how he starts to take some of those models from soccer and brings them over to gymnastics. And obviously, in the United States, I think youth soccer is like probably everywhere, and so many people play it. I will say that I did play one season of youth soccer, but I quit because the shin guards were too itchy. So, you know, I participated in the economy of youth soccer. But it'll be really cool to see what Kyle does, and I'm really excited. And I wish all the best to Lily. I think she did a fantastic job. She brought great energy, great leadership, and she just was a good aura to be around. So it was very cool. In
Totally
addition
agree.
to,
This is not a dig to Lily at all whatsoever. We're just
no.
excited for new leadership. And ultimately, I don't know if many people know this, but I work a 9 to 5 job in finance and wealth management. And so for me to just think of it from a business perspective, I'm excited for the business side of USA Gymnastics to see new eyes and fresh ideas and new perspectives. And from a business side of things, when I listen to that in corporate America, it's nice to have that perspective. So from that perspective of it, I'm really excited.
I agree. I agree. Some other new news that came out just the earlier this week. American Cup is coming back. So cool. There's information that has come out about, I believe, 8 different countries will be participating in this event. Obviously, if you've been sticking around gymnastics for any sort of amounts of time, this was an event that was historically happened on US soil, and there have been some amazing, iconic US gymnasts who have won American Cup. And it's really exciting to have this event come back onto US soil and have it happen. In addition to American Cup coming back, it's going to be happening in Las Vegas at the beginning of March. They're actually going to move the Nastia Cup away from Winter Cup weekend, and they're going to move it to American Cup weekend. So that will be really cool to be able to have the elite gymnastics with other countries happening with the top level 10 gymnasts of the season. I also like it because it moves Nastia Cup 2 weeks later. So there's less of a huge rush to get qualified as early in the season as those level 10s are, because then they start peaking. Normally it would have been like mid-February is Nastia Cup, and then they have to peak again for nationals in May, and that's a long time to sustain. So I think that moving Nastia Cup up is going to be a really positive thing.
That's such a great point. And honestly, it emulates an NCAA season nicely because you want that slow rise, consistent rise up. And of course, in NCAA gymnastics, you are trying to sustain the entire 4 months of the season. But for these student athletes, well, they are student athletes in high school. But for these athletes who are ultimately trying to go to college, this is a really nice practice for them to understand like when the peak really needs to happen at the right time. So they're not roller coasting their way through season. So I
Yeah.
like this change for a lot of reasons, whether intentional or not, for what we're talking about right now. I'm happy that they made the switch.
Yeah, I mean, you went to the Nastia Cup. Would you have enjoyed it being a little bit later?
Yeah, because then after Nastia Cup, I think when I went, I took the next meet off because it was just a lot happening. And there was, again, as you mentioned, peaking mid-February didn't make a lot of sense. And so took the next meet off to like chill and then had a meet and then stayed. So it wasn't as effective as riding the coattails of the excitement and energy and grandoise of Nastia Cup going into like states and then regionals, nationals. So it makes sense from an athlete perspective.
I'm gonna try my best to incorporate the word grandoise one more time into this podcast episode. I just really love it.
I I knew you would.
It's giving something that's a word that would be in the category of like thrillifying and like all the Oz language, which honestly doesn't come easy to me. I need it to. I would love for it to just, roll off the tongue. But Grandoise will be incorporated in this episode at another point in time. Our next good news was Penn Gymnastics got their Ivy Championship rings, and they're gorgeous. Now, I saw a couple videos, and we are seeing a stack of rings on their hands, and it's just so cool. I mean, I think Ivy Championships is Brown, Penn, Yale, and Cornell, oh my gosh, all competing against one another. They're the four Ivy League schools that have a gymnastics program. And it's a big deal. When they show up on that floor, they are ready to go, and everyone of those teams wants to win. So it's really cool that they got their rings, and they were just so excited about that. Um, and my next one, did you guys see Ui Soma? Number one, she did a takeover on the Stanford Gymnastics account, which was iconic. Number two, did you see her backpack unpacked and all of the items that were inside of her backpack?
I did, and I want to hear your favorites because I have favorites.
Every every space I went to notice one more thing because she labeled them, it was perfect. I was just like captivated with her more and more and more. So I'm gonna work my way around. Okay. So up first, we have, MacBook. Not big deal. Okay. We have a Kokuyo campus notebook. Unsure what that is, but it feels right. Um, but I also think that that notebook says calculus on it, which feels like, yes, we are smart. We are up there. We are intelligent with
That
our.
screams
Yeah.
Stanford.
Yes. Then we have a charger. Love that. A Stanley water bottle, reusable all the time. Stanford Gymnastics on that Stanley water bottle. Love it. We got a journal. We love a journaling queen. Sunglasses that are huge, just like Olivia's huge glasses. Yes, exactly like that. As we work our way down, let's find ourselves at the pencil case. We love it. We don't need loose pencils coming going around our backpack. Then we get to the utensils. Okay. I This is when I started to fall in love a little bit more. This queen doesn't use single-use plastic. That's what I learned. That is what I learned. Because we have utensils that are a washable spoon and a washable fork in a little case. Queen. That's queen stuff. We then have our omega-3 vitamins, sunscreen, hand sani, which I just watched this video and someone in Australia refers to hand sanitizer as antibac, and I would like to start referring to hand sanitizer as antibac from this point forward. We have hand cream, essential oil, period. Lip gloss. Yeah. She probably heard an episode and was like, I gotta put my lip gloss in here because of Liv's lips.
Yeah, but I don't know that one, and now I need it.
You need it. You need to find out the Ui Soma lip gloss. Please DM her.
Got it.
AirPods, Altoid mints, claw clip, a reusable bag that has Mickey and Minnie on it. And to round it all out, we have a Golden State Valkyries pouch, which is the brand new women's basketball team in the Bay Area that just had their inaugural season. So what you're telling me is we have an eco-friendly queen, we have a journaling queen, we have an omega-3 taking queen, and we have a women's basketball fan? Uisoma, I want to see you. You don't even need to stick one more dismount. Just bow every time. And at every bow, I will commend you for just being a top tier human being, knowing what's in your bag. The end.
The utensils are everything to me because I'm very specific about my utensils. Like, I don't eat soup with a large spoon, it needs to be a smaller spoon. I don't like heavy forks. I'm very specific about my utensil usage. So I find deep connection with her. I really do.
I did not know about that about you.
I fought my boyfriend last night for the small spoon.
I have a question for you.
Please.
How do you feel about sporks?
A little uncomfortable.
She looks uncomfortable. If you saw her face right now, she's freaking out.
I'm just my avenues for which I use utensils is very linear and clear. Like I don't feel as though I need to stab something that needs to be scooped.
Period. What's our next note for good news?
Oh, on the topic of stab and scoop. No, honestly, this one is something that I'm super excited about because I saw that Auburn Gymnastics posted that they are doing venue host tryouts for their 2026 season. So, knowing who I'm talking to here, Corey, first of all, how cool is it that another program is doing this and engaging number one in fan engagement and just general attendance and in arena experience, which is like your bread and butter and what you eat, pray, love. But second is what you've done and started at Arkansas that has then transferred into the Big Ten championship and the NCAA championship, and you did a basketball game with Arkansas. Like, what for you in particular is seeing this and this experience and offering? How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's it's super cool. It's super cool. When I saw this post go up, I just was so happy. I'm happy for Auburn. I'm happy for our sport in general. But I have to give credit where credit is due. I would not be in the position that I am today if it weren't for Jordan Weber and the permission that she gives me to be able to create in the space that is Fayetteville, Arkansas, and the entire marketing and event management and administrative staff at the University of Arkansas for trusting that we can fly in and out this random guy that's going to come and bring the energy. All of a sudden, I'm at basketball games. Like, it's been such a cool space. So it's not lost on me who has helped me get to this point. But the thing that I've been talking about recently is the idea that where at one point in time venues were maybe having a DJ play at gymnastics meets, and now a DJ kind of feels like the norm at gymnastics meets. I've just been hoping and pushing and continuing to try to push the envelope as much as possible to make in-arena hosts and in-venue MCs be the norm because I do believe that this role educates fans really well. It brings the energy and creates unforgettable spaces for student athletes to feel like their home venue is like the best thing ever. So kudos to you, Auburn. I'm super excited for you. And I'm just like I'm pumped to kind of see who else we can welcome into this like hype man, hype women in arena venue host kind of sphere. Because right now it's me and the two Denver guys, who Tom and Taylor are absolutely incredible, and I get a front row seat of helping them at Denver. But I'm excited to get to see what happens at Auburn and see how I can help. So it's been really, really cool.
Such a good stepping stone. I mean, from the DJ comment you just made, even from like lights and smoke and things that happen on intros and there's just so much growth that I've seen even so, like before I've been there when I was competing and to now. So what a cool thing. I'm proud of you. This is just like a really fun, it hits for you. So
It
that's awesome.
does. It does. Thanks for bringing it up. I appreciate that.
That's awesome.
Speaking of welcoming people to arenas, that was such a grandiose intro to this.
That doesn't count.
Okay, thank you. No, speaking of welcoming people to arenas, I saw a video this week of a Shih Tzu working as the official airport greeter in Tokyo.
Okay, I'm pretty sure it's created by Sora and AI because I also saw this, but I simply don't care because the lean of the hand that the Shih Tzu gives provides me deep pleasure and joy.
I would feel so welcome at the Tokyo airport if that's what welcomed me.
Wait, okay, speaking of so off topic, but it just came to my mind. Did you get a follow request from Tony Smith the Corky on Instagram?
Hold on, checking. Well, what do you know? Tony Smith underscore the corgi is following me. Wait, Liv, a 9-year-old cor I did not know you made this. A 9-year-old corgi based in Chicago loves walks the color pink and chicken. Okay, first post. I went to the bar recently. I was very tired. I called an Uber and went home to rest. I enjoy resting. You guys, my mother dressed me up as Elphaba for Halloween. I'm not quite sure who that human is, but my mother is very obsessed. It is weird. I'm smiling so she removes the hat quicker. I hated my costume. I never want to wear it again. Oh my gosh. Just two more posts to catch up on. All my mother ever does is take photographs of me. I know you are obsessed with me, but please get a hobby. You guys, no. The most recent post, Hinge saw it first. Just a glam shot of Tony. Oh, Olivia, this is iconic.
If I'm I'm going to make her go viral.
This is iconic. Oh my gosh. I need Tony Smith welcoming every human being at ORD, at Chicago O'Hare Airport, please.
Oh, she's been to Chicago O'Hare Airport numerous times, so maybe I should just whip her out of her little house and just say hello to people.
Her apartment, we call
Her
it.
apartment. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, I did not know that Tony had a Instagram. This is
So selfish plug, go follow TONI SMITH underscore the corgi on Instagram.
oh my gosh, yes, please. Oh my God. Okay, that's enough of the good news. More good news, but less of a category of good news. We have some beam bubbles that we want to talk about this week. Okay, up first, beam bubbles. Olivia's doing the hand motion that we did on episode 1 of On the Floor with Liv and Cor, which was when we did a visual of Glinda's bubble descending on stage in the Wicked show.
Can you incorporate that into a Razorback show, please? Meet.
This is a formal ask to the University of Arkansas. Please let me arrive to the arena in a bubble. I will, I'll give up my paycheck if I can arrive in
Like
a
a
bubble.
hamster ball, you know those hamster balls that you can run on water in? Just put you in one of those and have you just descend.
Okay. Olivia's my official entertainment coordinator for the season. She is providing all ideas. Okay, back to us. Beam bubbles. Aaliyah Finnegan. Did you see this new beam dismount she's doing? Aerial to back handspring 1.5 dismount on beam.
I love combo. It's bringing me back to the like I always think of Ohashi when she went flick lay full. Like
Yeah,
I love combo dismounts. I just think they're so fun. And so this one it brought me back to those days. Good
I love
days.
it. I love it. The
Speaking
second,
of
oh,
oh,
I was gonna do it.
oh.
Bree Clark. Did you see Bree Clark? It's it's leap acro situation. Beat jump to punch front back layout step out to the gods.
This is so LCH coded in the best way, and I'm obsessed with it. End note.
End note. Yes, Bree Clark, a star. She's the one that did the Biles last season, right?
Oh yeah, she is. I This is very exciting. It's a tricky one though because if you're punching directly out of that beat, you have to be on the beat. And beat jumps tend to be like the throwaway skill people think, kind of like a full turn. It can sneak up on you. So that's the one that requires immense squaring of the hips and focus. But if I know LCH, I know that the drills will be drilling.
Oh, drilled. Drilled.
Drilled.
Okay,
All
Olivia,
right, so
you must talk about Flavia right now.
okay, this took me by surprise. I was scrolling through the interwebs and I came across this video of Flavia Saravia doing not one, two, three, not four, five back handsprings down the beam. Five. Excuse?
One beam.
One beam. I I mean, what? That's like a circus act.
Pellegrino.
Circus. I mean, can you even? Like, that's insane. Number one, like, people who do flick lays as their series will tend to just do like back handspring as their warm up to stay super square because I would argue it's harder to do two back handsprings than a back handspring lay because you're putting your hand and feet down, hand, feet, instead of just hand, feet, feet. That's my perception of it. But the fact that she does five
Mhm. Crazy.
agape.
Crazy. We were literally just talking about the handspring with Jordan Childs' new series.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, so impressive. Okay, I saw another video, and this is going to be one of those that you guys are going to have to come to our Twitter accounts after you listen to this episode and scroll for it because we found this video of Svetlana Horkina doing two different skills multiple times, but the first one really just took my breath away. It took my breath away. Cartwheel, gainer, layout, or step out, or was it like a back
That's
handspring
a back. The first
pull?
one's a back handspring full.
Okay, but it's a cartwheel back handspring full, but it
Yes.
but it like floated. It was like an acro back handspring full, not like a meaning like it got air. Her whole body was off the beam, and it wasn't like a dumpy back handspring full. I never ever want to see a standing back handspring full ever again after I've now seen this. It's unbelievable.
And the fact that she did it in connection with a swing through gainer, I just those were the days. I saw someone on the post, one of the comments was like, I wouldn't call her my favorite gymnast of all time, but you cannot deny that she was absolutely insanely innovative on bars and beam and elevated the difficulty connection game beyond belief. And that is spot on because watching this now really makes you go, oh, whoa, like this is what was happening. Not to diminish what we're seeing in the elite world and the NCAA world right now from difficulty. It was just different difficulty. It was super different. And I don't even know what else to say about it besides you have to watch it because I was stunned.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
And then she did the cartwheel, or was it a backhand spring? No, it was a cartwheel. Cartwheel gainer into a layout full, landing on 2 feet. So she's going cartwheel gainer through, taking off from 1 foot and going layout full on the beam. This is not a dismount, and landing on the beam.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Okay, one last beam bubble of the week. Did you see the video that Planet of Gymnastics posted of Michigan State playing Stick It or Spill It? So, you guys, they had to stick skills on their balance beam assignment, like stick dismounts. And if they didn't stick it, they had to like spill some hot gossip, like a big secret that they had. Iconic, iconic.
And when you're on a team, your teammates are going to hold you to that and be like, oh, we knew that or whatever. Like that is it. I would stick my dismount.
Amen. Amen. Me too. I also love that when we see games like that, we tend to see the student athletes that are playing the game. It's kind of like more of a student athletes versus coaches. Like, did she actually stick? In this one, I felt like the student athletes were like, you didn't actually stick that, spill it, right? So they're
Yes.
holding themselves accountable even more, like within themselves. Like it's a very unique game in that sense that I'm super here for. I also love a good beam game. So well done, Nicole Curler.
But also really quick to think about what you just said. Usually it's like student athletes versus coaches, which builds incredible camaraderie and trust and fun with your teammates. But let's not forget that you don't get to compete as a joint, you and your teammate in a meet. You are the one doing that. So if the assignment is 1 out of 2 in your group need to stick and one sticks and one doesn't, okay, you win that. And that's super fun in preseason. But come the time when you're actually competing, it's only you. And I think this was a really nice way of emulating that pressure in a non-team way that can translate really nicely into competition.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a great point. All right, our final segment of the day on this episode, it's wow bubbles. You guys, we had some really fun wow moments that we saw and some things rise back up through the archives. Up first, Trinity Thomas's beautiful old floor pass. It was a 1.5 through to a floaty, amazing, gorgeous Trinity Thomas double layout. And it wasn't until I watched this video again that made me like almost shed a tear just missing watching Trin do gymnastics. Um, I miss it a lot, but it was great to have this back in my life. Thank goodness for, archived video.
It brought me back. That's for sure. The second one that has been circulating after we saw an amazing front handspring double front from Sky Blakely, then she showed us the beautiful half on vault drill. Oh, then she said, y'all liked that. You're gonna really like this. And out she comes with this stunning Lopez that has the grandoise height to God.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you nailed
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, thank you. And it's breathtaking. Literally breathtaking.
It's so gorgeous.
It's, might one say, grandoise.
New shirt incoming. New shirt
Sign up for the
incoming.
merch drop.
It is gorgeous. It was so cool. But the most iconic part about it was her identifying that she's going to be competing in NCAA, and I think that's so cool. We love unique skills. We love them. We love them. And what we also love is not putting that much pressure on these student athletes. So if you don't do the Lopez guy, we're here for that too. Live your life, girl. We love you. Okay? Love it. Okay. Next, iconic floor news from Salt Lake City. I have to go first because I saw on TikTok a clip of Utah gymnastics McKenna Smith and her brand new choreography in her floor routine. You guys, we have Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders choreography all up in McKenna Smith's floor routine. Like, I'm talking, we have pom-poms up and down and around the back. We also have the jump split happens. We have like all these little moments that are iconically DCC, and McKenna Smith is doing them, and I am so here for it.
This is where I wish we got floor props.
True. And
Toss a
costume.
palm, whip a palm, toss a palm.
With costume, probably.
Duh. With
But if we can't have that, I just want to collab, really.
there is simply no option.
This just hit me. I just got a vision, like a Raven Simone vision.
Oh.
Yeah. Wait, let's. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders perform at the national championship with McKenna Smith when Utah makes it to four on the floor
Make a phone call, babe.
in Dallas, Fort Worth,
Make a phone call, babe.
2026. Wow.
If nothing else, a simple meet and greet would be excellent, but that would really elevate it. And can you imagine the fan engagement that would come from that?
Please, please, please.
Ride the tailwinds. Okay, you talked about Salt Lake City. I love Salt Lake City because I'm currently obsessed with Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If you're not watching it, it is cinematic brilliance and it deserves to win an Academy Award. But what was out of this world insane that if no one saw it, please, we will post it on Twitter. You have to see it. Avery Neff posted a new tumbling pass. She goes punch front double full into a punch brandy. And then she goes double stag, really pretty high jump. Then she kind of sachets and goes round off, layout full into a step out a la Horkina style on beam.
I'm watching it as you just described it, and it's so phenomenal.
And it's like, I've competed at Huntsman, I've broadcasted from there. The noise that will happen when this pass occurs, if it occurs in a competition setting, will be grandoise.
Grandoise.
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. I love it. It's so cool. It's unique. It's different. It's difficult, not to mention going front double full to a Brandy. Like, excuse Brandy, whatever. I call her Brandy. Her name is Brandy. But, like, what? Excuse?
I love it. I love it. I can't. take my eyes off of it. I'm
It's
so distracted
insane.
right now.
She is so talented, and this is just the awareness. Yeah, wow.
It's so good, so good. Also, just shout out to Avery Nuff for being healthy and being able to punch off out of two ankles.
I mean,
Yeah,
superhuman.
superhuman. Oh, so cool. Okay, you guys, those are our bubbles for the day.
Those were bubbly.
Those were bubbly. They were bubbly. Something that I'm going to get better at by next week is figuring out how to work the word grandoise into a sentence because you're succeeding.
It doesn't come easy to everyone.
Okay. Okay. All right. Our final thing that we wanted to discuss on today's episode is we didn't prepare any notes on this, but we wanted to have a really candid discussion about one particular topic, which I think could be fun if we started to get a topic where we just spitball our thoughts on it. Because as we started this podcast, you guys all know that have been following along from the beginning. This started out with Olivia and I just hopping on FaceTime and gabbing, talking, just really processing what we were seeing in our sport that we love so dearly. And so we're going to do that for you right now. And the topic of the day that I wanted to bring to the table because I saw a couple posts happen, I saw some news happen internally behind the scenes that's going on right now. Um, I want to talk about, Olivia, like what your thoughts are on how we can support and get more gymnastics meets on television, whether it's streaming platforms, whether it's more time slots on channels that already see gymnastics. I want to know some of your candid thoughts, and we'll kind of go back and forth on like where what we think this can be. Like we'll give ourselves a time limit. We'll go for 10 minutes. Let's just chit chat about it.
Great. I love this topic. Obviously, you and I are so passionate about this for many reasons. And we saw that ESPN and ABC released their schedules today. And so there's been a lot of buzz on social about that. And let's not forget that ABC putting gymnastics on air was not a thing before. So the fact that there's numerous meets on ABC is incredible. I think the most important thing from what I've learned in my going into sixth year going to be with Big Ten and just working in different sectors of this is the education piece. I firmly believe that when these segments come on, like I know John and Alicia used to do like a classroom segment, or I've worked with our department, my producer in our department to create these like scoring graphics on the side that just gives you a high level overview of what the judges look for and what deductions they're taking on things because people don't know that. And when we talk about deductions and we talk about these things, you can kind of go, okay, great. Like, especially when a perfect example of this that I thought was really well done was I was watching an NFL game yesterday, and there was this call that happened where there was a penalty on the kicking team for a punt return. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, there's penalty all the time. Like, what's the point of that? And the broadcaster was like, this is a super unusual penalty. Like, we don't see this very often. And he asked the color guy on air, I don't remember who it was, but he asked him, like, can you explain why this is so unique? And he went into detail about it, and the production did a really good job because then 2 minutes later, they brought in an expert who's on call to help with some of these bizarre things and explained why it happened, why it's unique, what went wrong, etc. And as someone who knows football pretty well, but has never heard this before, I learned because I was like, oh, I never even thought you could be penalized for that, or I never thought whatever. And I think gymnastics needs more of that. I think we're doing a good job, but I think that the more there can be education in arena, which is something I know you are working on and want to do, on socials, on broadcasts, any format that allows for further education on the simplest things to the complex is going to only make it so someone like myself who's trying to beat solitaire for the 25th time on a Sunday overhears this on the TV, learns something. And so that's kind of I really feel passionate about the education portion of the sport that doesn't make it seem so daunting, but invites others to learn through visualization and through short tidbits.
I love that. I think that's great. What was also coming to mind for me is like we have so many avenues now by which we can get that information out, right? I've I'm posting more on TikTok and on TikTok I'm learning a lot as I post to just like try to figure out the platform that a lot of the videos that are doing really well and a lot of the accounts that are doing really well are focused topics that provide some level of education on a topic, right? Someone goes there almost as a new Google source. Even today, I went to TikTok to like figure out how to do a certain thing in Photoshop that I didn't know how to do, but I knew I was going to get a visual, I was going to get an audio dubbed over it, and I was going to be able to understand how this was all happening. So I think there's a lot of different avenues that have been created that we can absolutely take advantage of to provide access and to provide more exposure to the sport in that way. Um, as you mentioned, I think, this concept of like gymnastics on TV, I think that I feel two very opposing ways about the topic. One thing I will say on the positive side is I'm gonna celebrate. I'm gonna celebrate the fact that, like you mentioned, ABC showing more gymnastics, amazing. Last year, we had the first ever gymnastics meet on Fox that you got to be a part of. Amazing. That's more channels saying yes to our sport. So, so cool. We start seeing, ESPN took on the ACC network. That's growth. That's building in that way. It was sad when we saw the fall of the Pac-12 in our sport and the fall of the Pac-12 network, it took away one of those broadcast channels, but we can only hope that with the development of the Pac-12, that the network opportunities come back in that way. And then we hope to see the Big 12 conference get a little bit more push and a little bit more exposure as well, with some really great teams that qualified really far into the rounds of national championships last year. So my thing here is that I don't want it to go unnoticed and unsaid that it is growing and we are super excited about that. I also have this feeling over here that is 2 years ago when I found out that the national championship was going to be on ABC, the final meet, final four on the floor meet, and that the only time slot we could get was a 1 p.m. time slot on a Saturday. The first thought that I had was, I'm really curious what's happening in prime time on a Saturday on ABC that we weren't able to get the prime time slot. And in fact, months later, the ratings came out, and the event that had happened was a professional hockey game. It was just a normal, like, head-to-head hockey game. And the viewership of their primetime viewers was significantly less than what we got at a 1 p.m. national championship meet. I say this because we have to take those wins. We have to take the fact that we're on ABC as a win. I still feel like we're all athletes at heart and we're going to be competitive and we're going to want to beat out that person that's getting the primetime slot because in my mind, and I know in your heart as well, we want our student athletes to get prime time. We want them to have that exposure. We want them to feel that energy. And getting those moments are things that we're going to continue to fight for. And I have to admit, there was something that came out today. And yeah, it's kind of close to spheres I'm in. Um, I was very surprised to see that on the graphic that Arkansas Gymnastics posted, that out of all of their 10 regular season meets, only three of them are going to be broadcasted on networks. So it's two home meets and one away meet is going to be broadcasted. In the past, that number has been much larger. And that's the point I want to make here is that I'm curious and I want to do a deeper dive on this of why we're seeing the exposure for programs decreasing. And does that mean that the infrastructure that's in place has to increase at the rapid nature of our exposure increasing? Is that why we're seeing less exposure? Because the infrastructure, the personnel, the media trucks, the video truck, whatever, it's now being spread thinner across multiple different conferences. Is that what's going on? Right? So all of these are just questions in my mind that I have to say, I know I'm kind of rambling. I want to celebrate that it's happening, but I also want to continue to push the conversation of making sure that we are not pulling away exposure in order to get more exposure and hoping that we can keep running as fast as we can and still capturing as much content as we can.
We're close to our 10 minutes, but I have two more things I want to say, and I'll be brief and on the heels of this because I'm so aligned with you. Questions I get all the time from people is why doesn't Big Ten broadcast more meets? Why doesn't the Big Ten network broadcast more meets? Why is everything on Plus? Why is their linear schedule so minimal? I will tell you from when I started, it has grown exponentially, and the coverage that is to come this year is large, and I'm really excited about that. But what people don't know is the Big Ten during that season, the Big Ten has wrestling. And Big Ten wrestling is like SEC gymnastics level of fan engagement and viewership and etc. So when you're talking about the NHL game that was primetime ABC and then gymnastics at 1 p.m. beating them out in the ratings, wrestling beats out all the time. So when there is a wrestling match that the network from a business perspective knows is going to get the ratings and the engagement, you have no option but to broadcast it. And so while I want more gymnastics, I will go to the grave, to the mat, to everything for that. I understand the business side of it and I get it. And that's where your point, Corey, of like, I don't want to remove, like, are we spreading too thin? We are because there's just so much amazing sport happening that the things that you know are going to get those ratings, not to say gymnastics won't, because I think if we're given that opportunity, it's proven with what you just mentioned about nationals, we will give it and we'll deliver. But you have to make these decisions, especially when there's conflicting sports that in those conferences and in those times that have a lot of weight to them happen at the same time. So I think that's one thing that I feel very close to, given just conversations I've had with the Big Ten Network. I will also say that the Big Ten Network has been nothing but excited about gymnastics. And I've felt that, I've seen it, and I've been so impressed and excited with what they've continued to give to gymnastics, men's and women's. And that makes me really happy.
I mean, historically, I remember those moments that you and I like high-fived because you and your team at the Big Ten Network were able to figure out how to show every single piece of gymnastics that happened at the conference championship in the whole meet. Every single person was their routine was shown. And that is it takes a very creative mind in order to figure out how to make that happen in the window of time that you have set aside for that show, right? Um, but I loved the energy that was coming from the network and your producers that was passionate about this concept of showing every routine, right? And I think more energy in that space provides more education to our point, provides more accessibility and visual, and also I think about like those student athletes who, if their parents can't be in venue, they get to see their kid do gymnastics. Like there's so many hi macro micro levels of this conversation of who this conversation impacts, but I think that I just wanted to bring this up because I thought that it was a very fitting time right now as we're like building up energy towards season, and then all of a sudden like you're gonna hear it from Olivia and I, like we're gonna be overwhelmed with the amount of gymnastics meets that we get to watch each weekend. It's such a great problem to have. But I just want to say, like, I hope that we continue to push the train forward and continue this amazing momentum while still growing and building and finding ways to continue to make that happen. You know, there are still some meets that are big meets that happen that are not broadcasted.
You took
Um,
the words out of my mouth. I was literally going to say the final thing I want to say is we can all sit here and agree that no gymnastics meet should not be shown. That is unacceptable to me because people want to see it. And so if there is a big meet like that that is not broadcasted somewhere, even a stream, it's not my preferred method, but there is no option to me.
I agree. I mean, there's so many ways now for that are cost effective as well, to be able to show the incredible efforts of the student athletes and programs. around the country and what they're doing. That there's really no excuse. But on that note, though, I will have to say that I will speak for Olivia on this. We commend all of the SIDs and the videographers who have had to step up in incredible ways to be able to make sure that fans of their programs can see and have access to the gymnastics that happens on competition floors where there isn't streaming available. So kudos, kudos, kudos to you all. But it's cool. I mean, as you can tell, Olivia and I can literally talk about this topic all day long. Like if you sat us down for a meal and you brought up the topic of anything under the sun that has to do with growing our sport, you won't get a word in probably, but we'd love your input.
And honestly, if anyone watching this has gotten to this point, first of all, congratulations, you made it to this far in the episode. But second of all, if you have topics that you genuinely just want us to do like a 10-minute chat about, comment it, DM us, tweet, etc. Like I want to know what people really want to know about because we could sit here and talk all the time about things we saw or things we're passionate about, but you guys should be a part of the conversation as well with what you want to hear. So tell us because heck, we could rant for days about anything. And so I want to rant and talk about things that you all want us to rant and talk about. So tell us.
I love that. I would love to do more discussions like this. Like the news and notes are so fun and like keeping people up to date, but I'm starting to feel like we keep those really trim, guide them to our social accounts, and have more important discussions that are like this, which I think are really cool and can be really shape-shifting conversations that really push the needle.
And that's on period.
Uh-huh. And with that, the 2025 season has come to an end. Good night. That's how we need to end the last episode of 2025.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I love it. Okay,
Okay,
but on that note, I have I'm gonna go see Wicked.
I'm gonna go build up my corgi's Instagram page.
Period. Period. I love it. All right, friends. That was such a fun episode. That was episode 21 of On the Floor with Liv and Cor. As always, we love getting to connect with you. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe to this on YouTube. Leave us a comment on Spotify. We would love to hear from you there. And as always, share and tell your friends to start listening here because I've already had some people telling me that they're learning a lot about our sport just from tuning into our episodes. And it's like a nice
Education.
I know, I love it. It's like such like a little community, little like or like a commute partner. Like as you're commuting, throw one on the floor with Liv and Core. That'd be fun. We do have some fun surprises coming for you real quick and real fast, and we're working really hard on them. So we're very excited about that. But on that note, we're gonna peace out. So I'm gonna go see Wicked. Olivia's gonna go see Wicked later this week, and we hope you all see you at the Ozdust Ballroom. Goodbye. Oh, wait, we didn't mention Helen Who in this episode, so I'm mentioning her right now. Okay, bye.